Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the first episode of Gifts from the Kitchen. And this is a gift giving season, although these gifts you can give any time of the year. I think sometimes that the best gifts you can give are those from the heart and the hands. And so gifts from the kitchen I think are an excellent choice. Now, not everybody is a fantastic cook. Not everybody is a fantastic crafter. Most of us are mediocre, middle of the road, and can probably fudge our way through something to make a nice gift. And speaking of fudging our way through something, that is the gift I'm going to make today, fudge. In fact, I'm going to make two kinds of fudge. I'm going to make a chocolate fudge, and that is based on the Carnation instant milk or Carnation canned milk recipe. And then I'm going to make a peanut butter fudge, which is actually my favorite. So I will walk you through both of those, and then we'll see how we package it up at the end and make cute little Christmas gifts. The cans I got from the Dollar Tree I figured could hold 16 pieces of fudge, so I will have 8 of each kind in the can. And we'll put it all together at the end of the video. But for right now, let's get started on the chocolate fudge. I'll bring you down to the pot. Hold on. Okay, I have my pot heating up over medium heat. And to that, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of granulated sugar. And I just put new sugar in here, so this ought to be interesting. I'll get my little quarter cup here. There's 1. One and a quarter. 1.5. And I'm also going to add 2/3 of a cup of the Carnation milk. Make sure when you use canned milk that you give it a good shake before you use it. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of butter and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now while I am going to stir this around, and we're going to heat it up on the medium heat. And it says stirring constantly, which I will do in a minute. I wanted to show you that I got my pan ready, and that is an 8x8 pan. And I have lined it with aluminum foil. I just sprayed the foil the tiniest bit so it won't stick to the bottom of the fudge. But this makes it very easy to pull the fudge out of the pan and lay it on a cutting board to cut it. So back to the stirring. Now I'm going to stir for a little bit, and I'll probably speed up this process. And then once this comes to a rolling boil, we're going to boil it for 4 to 5 minutes, so I'll set my timer, and I won't make you watch the whole thing. And over here I have 1.5 cups, where we are, 1.5 cups of chocolate bits and 2 cups of mini marshmallows, along with some vanilla. And that's what we'll put in after we have finished cooking this concoction. So this is really all the ingredients there are. But the biggest thing to remember when you're making any kind of fudge is to get everything ready as much as possible, because once it reaches a certain point, it progresses very quickly, and you have to be ready for it. So basically all we're doing right now is dissolving the sugar in the milk, and I can still feel some grains along the bottom of the pan here, so it's not quite dissolved yet. I don't know about any of you, but I remember my mother making fudge, and she made it on a regular basis. And I've never seen a recipe like this before. I think I have seen some. I've not made them. Her fudge was hard as a rock. And I don't mean, you know, not edible. But you know how fudge tends to be, this fudge will be kind of soft and chewy. Her fudge, if I'm not mistaken, used 3 cups of sugar, 1 cup of milk, and some of those Baker's chocolate squares. And you melted those all down and did the same thing. And then of course we didn't have candy thermometers back then. So we used the softball test, which is just taking some very cold water, and once you've boiled this up for a good 4 to 5 minutes, you're going to pick up a little bit of it and drip it into the cup, and it should make a soft ball. This recipe doesn't ask for this, it just tells you to boil it for 4 or 5 minutes. It's getting smoother now. And the steam is beginning to come up, so it looks like we're cooking. And I'm going to stop talking and we'll speed up this video until we get it boiling up. Okay, now it's come up to a full boil. I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes, and I will be back when we get close to the end of those 4 minutes. Okay, I have reached my 4 minutes, and I went about 4.5, so I'm going to add my chocolate chips. And I'm going to add my marshmallows. And this is also, and I'm going to add my vanilla. And this is also the time you could add some nut meats if you were going to add them. And now it says to beat this vigorously for 1 minute until all those marshmallows melt. And it gets harder and harder to beat vigorously. Almost. Okay, I think we've got it. So, into the pan it goes. The hardest part of making fudge is getting it in the pan before it gets hard. How many of you as little kids got the fudge pan to lick? We used to fight about who was going to get it. Okay. I'm going to quickly get this pushed into all the corners. Try to make it as equal as possible as far as the depth. Now, if you find that you're just not able to move this, you can barely wet the spatula. But I don't like to because I don't really want to get it wet. So there you go. There you go. It's chocolate. It's going to go in the refrigerator, take about 2 hours, and then it'll be ready to cut and put in the boxes. So I'll be back when I get this mess cleaned up, and we'll work on the peanut butter fudge. Be back in a little bit. Hang in there. Okay, we're back to make the peanut butter fudge. This is a very easy recipe. It has only 4 ingredients: sugar, milk, peanut butter, and marshmallow fluff. Now, I don't have another 8x8 or 9x9 pan, but I have this one, which is a pretty good shape. It just will not make it as easy to cut even pieces because it's not square, but it'll work just fine. Now, this recipe starts with 2 cups of sugar, you know, most of the year I wouldn't even have sugar here. I don't bake that often, and it calls for half a cup of milk. See if I can get this bottle of milk over here. This is regular whole milk. This is a 1/4 cup, so I'm going to do 2 of them. And it says to stir over medium heat till it comes to a rolling boil. Rolling boil. Bowl. Sounds like Paula Dean bowl. And you can see it's dissolving. And once this reaches the boil, we're going to boil this one for 3 minutes, and I will set the timer and bring you back when we're ready to go to the next step. Okay, we're on the countdown here. I have about, not quite 2 minutes left. 1 minute now, it says. So we're coming down to the wire here. And you can see, I see something floating there. Let's get it out. Don't know what it is, but it's not there any longer. And it's really at a nice rolling boil. Now this calls for 12-ounce jar of peanut butter. I never found such an animal. I find them 13 ounces, but not 12. But I have some big jars of peanut butter, so I have taken 12 ounces out and put it on a plate, and I will add that. And it calls for a 7-ounce jar of marshmallow fluff. The jars are 7.5 ounces, but that's quite all right. We're going to work out just fine. "35 seconds to go." Oh, there we go. Removing it from the heat. And I'm going to add all of this peanut butter. This is 12 ounces. And then I'm going to add this whole jar of marshmallow fluff, which is a pain in the neck to get it out. Wow, that came out pretty good. Look at that. And that's that. And now we'll do the drill again, stirring vigorously until all of this melts. Be careful when you're stirring this vigorously, because this puppy, that is molten sugar, and it's very hot. So be careful you don't splash yourself. Whoa, tough. Okay, I think we're there. Get the pan back here. These we can make smaller pieces because I can see they're going to be quite thick. This may take a little longer to set up because it's thick. And now what I'm going to add to this one, I have some really nice peanuts from Costco, and I chopped some up, and I'm going to add them to the top. I don't want to put them in because some people may not like peanuts. But if I just add them to the top, they can kind of brush them off and have the fudge underneath it. And there's a great big peanut. We don't need that. All right, there you go. Peanut butter fudge going in the refrigerator. I'll be back when they're ready to cut. See you in a while. Bye-bye. Okay, we're ready to cut. So we can just lift this out of the pan. Makes for easy cleanup. Now with the square one, it's kind of easy. You just you want to cut in the middle. Cut each one of those halves in half. And then you can cut each one of those halves in half. And if your knife gets stuck, you can put a warm paper towel Alright, then we turn it the other way, and we'll do the same thing, half in the middle. Each one of those in half. Each one of those in half. Not quite long enough. The knife wasn't quite long enough to get to the end. These in half. Each one of these in half. And there you go. And one piece for the cook. Now in my pan here, I have red and green little cups. They're like little candy cups. And I think I got those at the Dollar Tree last year. So I'm just going to put a piece of fudge in each one of these. There goes my clock. Oh, I forgot to put my Christmas music on. Well, before I get the peanut butter one out and cut, I just wanted to show you. I've got two more pieces here. Look how many pieces of fudge we got from that one pan. Granted, they're small pieces, but they're plenty big enough. You just want to taste, and you're going to have a whole can full as far as the gift goes. And if you were going to take fudge to a party, it's a good thing I didn't put my Thanksgiving tray away, because it's big enough to hold all of this. So let me put this to the side. We get the peanut butter cut so we can start packing up the boxes. I don't think I've got enough boxes, but we'll pack up again and put the rest in a container until I get some. Okay, lifting out. Now let's see how we're going to cut this one. I need to just wipe this off. I think I'll start it this way. And cut this in thirds here. These corners don't want to cut, they want to break. We'll do the best we can. Probably not the easiest pan to cut. Okay, now let me just, that one kind of broke. Let me just cut some of these. Look how creamy. Whoops, look how creamy. Yummy. So we'll have some that are a little bit of a funny shape. They taste just fine. And these I'm going to put in the red papers. We'll just start going around with these. Well, I'm sorry to say that some of these corner ones on the peanut butter fudge kind of flaked, and they're not pretty enough to use. Actually, I'm not sorry to say that at all, because it means they'll stay right here. So I'm going to start with one can here and see if I can move these over. Find a little spot that you can see. And I'm just going to alternate the pieces going around. Doesn't come out even, but that's okay. We'll put 2 more chocolate in the middle. And I cut some little circles out of parchment paper, so we'll make another layer. And that one worked out even, so we'll put one of each in the middle. And there you go. All set. I'll put a pretty bow and a tag on it. We'll be ready to roll. There you go. 3 boxes of fudge, and I still have a lot left. So I'm going to get a pan with a cover on it and put these in it, and then we'll get some more fancy boxes and fill them up. So let me just bring up and have some parting words here. It's no worse from the wear here at the kitchen. Let's see where I need to be. Oh, there I am. Okay, so that was episode 1 of Gifts from the Kitchen. Fancy fudge 2 ways, and it makes a ton. I probably can get, I would say, at least 3 more boxes. So you have 6 gifts for a little bit of work in the afternoon. So I'm going to say bye now, and we'll see you next Sunday. And we'll do something savory next Sunday. Not all gifts have to be sweets. So think about something savory, like pickles. See you next Sunday. Have a great week. Bye-bye. Oh, everybody play nice now. Bye-bye.